You let me violate you. You let me desecrate.
So welcome back to another Nailing Flicks ep. Today we're just concentrating on two older films. So we're looking at the 1990s much applauded Goodfellas, and then also the kind of quiet 1995 offering Outbreak. So let's get into it. In July of 1967, a virus with a 100% mortality rate starts infecting people in the Mataba River Valley in Zaire. The virus becomes known as the Mataba virus, and it's so deadly that it kills people within 3 days of becoming infected. As the virus is so lethal, a decision is made to wipe out the Mataba River Valley population and this virus by the military. Cut to 27 years later, and there is another outbreak, hence the title, in Mataba River Valley. At the United States Army Research Institute of Infectious Diseases, say that 10 times very quickly, Colonel Sam Daniels races against the clock with his team of experts to locate the source of the virus, create an antidote, and save the world from this imminent natural disaster. So directed by Wolfgang Petersen, who gave us films like The Perfect Storm, Troy, and Das Boot, and written by Lawrence Dwyer and Robert Roy Poole, Outbreak has an all-star cast, including the likes of Dustin Hoffman, Rene Russo, Morgan Freeman, Kevin Spacey, Cuba Gooding Jr. and Donald Sutherland. Released in 1995, the film has stood the test of time and still offers a fast-paced story, complete with a goodly amount of suspense, action, humour and drama. So, Outbreak. This is one of my, you have those films that are really kind of hidden gems. This is one of my hidden gem films. I have these two really kooky hidden gem films. One of them is Outbreak, and the other one, for some reason, is Medicine Man, starring Sean Connery and Lorraine Bracco. Don't ask me why. I don't know. So every time I see this film, I still enjoy it because, probably because for some reason I had this morbid interest in the topic. So, the film opens with a quote, which I didn't write down, but commenting on the fact that the biggest, threat to the human species is the virus. And it's something so small and something so minute, and it can just wipe us out like that. And I find it really interesting. So every time I watch a film, the prospect of that happening and how it happens and how a virus morphs and changes and, you get these different strains, it's just, and, coupled with good acting, I always enjoy this film. I watched it again the other day after, to remind myself.
Guilty pleasure?
Yeah, I was. I was in it again going, oh, are they going to make it? It's fun. It's fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everyone has their little hidden gems that other people think are shit. So I think that's important.
I certainly have a couple of those.
Okay, yeah.
Absolutely. So, whilst I don't agree with you wholeheartedly on this, I do enjoy it to an extent.
Yeah.
Like I say, the virus topic is very interesting because that was sort of the basis of the War of the Worlds. I mean, that showed how a virus can
absolutely
take out aliens as well. A bit of a spoiler there, but what the hell is 70 years old?
If you're watching this, you've got to be a cinephile, and if you don't know that, then you stop now and look at something else.
Yeah, exactly. But Dustin Hoffman is, a frank admission, is my favourite actor.
He's brilliant. It's funny, I was waiting for you to say there were moments when Dustin Hoffman was quite pious, a little, it's kind of...
Yeah, well, no, I was okay with that.
He's an amazing actor. I love him. And in this film, he's actually, all of his other films, he's kind of a little bit, like in Rain Man, he's never kind of a bit spunky.
Yeah, true.
I thought he was a bit spunky in this film.
Well, that's true. They kind of...
Which I kind of went, yeah, go Dustin. I was like, about time, come on.
Kind of tried to make
Step
a
up.
56-year-old Dustin Hoffman into an action star.
Yeah, but it was fun.
Hey, look, no, the whole thing is fun. Gets a bit ludicrous towards the end, just a tad, and with the military guy Donald Sutherland. Donald Sutherland is like he's just chewing up the scenery.
He's the arch. I know. Yeah. He's like the evil.
Yeah.
There's always got to be one though, isn't there?
Yeah.
Who has his comeuppance at the end.
But conversely to that, I mean, his right hand man was Dale Dye, who was actually in the army, and he went on to be in a few more films. He was kind of like R. Lee Ermey in Full Metal Jacket, who was the drill sergeant. He was actually did a lot of military time, and so did Dale Dye, and he went on to consult for Spielberg on Saving Private Ryan.
Right.
He's a great guy. He came across really well in the film. I was pretty hot for Rene Russo too.
Something about Rene Russo in that era, she was getting a lot of, she was doing a lot of films, and for me, it was all about her moving from Lethal Weapon 3, and then after I saw her in that, I was like, oh, Rene Russo rocks.
Absolutely, me too. Thomas Crown Affair.
Yeah, and then you saw her and everything, and you're like, go Renee.
Yeah, damn straight.
She was like action, but yeah, she's a good-looking woman as well.
Yeah, absolutely. She was a model, I think, before she was an actress. But and Kevin Spacey was before.
Red hair, go Kevin. Before
he was really Kevin Spacey,
TM. It was kind of a smaller role for him too. So I love looking back at these films now that are 25, 30 years old, and going, look at these really high-profile actors who had their little side, supporting roles.
And it was actually there was a bit of a cameo for McDreamy, Patrick Dempsey.
Oh yeah.
In between his 80s teenage heartthrob stage and now McDreamy.
I remember when I watched the film, I was like, I'm so glad to see Patrick Dempsey getting work.
Yeah.
And that was in 1995. I was like, come on, Patrick, like, where have you been?
Exactly. I was like, oh. Yeah, good work.
Yeah, absolutely.
Get in there.
That's, bless Outbreak.
Absolutely.
Get people back in.
But the director, Wolfgang Petersen, is...
Great director.
Well...
Don't like Wolf... Oh, man.
He's just not... He doesn't do subtle.
Oh, no. But, you've got people who do subtle, so you need someone who doesn't.
No, well, I think this could have done with a little bit of subtlety. His kind of style works when he does something like In the Line of Fire with Clint Eastwood. I thought that was pretty good because it was all about the thriller and ratcheting up the tension and all that sort of thing. And this was kind of the same, but you're dealing with something that's not tangible, you can't see it, and like to be over the top about something that just really isn't there to see.
Yeah, but you've got
almost didn't work.
Yeah, but I don't know. In a way, I kind of appreciated that because it's not there and you can't see it. You've got to give it status. You know what I mean?
Yeah, true.
Like you've got to make the stakes very, very high in other ways.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't know, like that kind of jarring music. Are they gonna make it or they not? Like,
I don't know. The tension just fell away from me about 20 minutes from the end.
Okay, well, yeah, there was. Okay, we don't want to.
I don't want to spoil it, but I mean, there comes a point where you think, oh, maybe all the characters are gonna get wiped out, and it's just like.
See, and that's the thing, like there's.
And it's just like, hang on, well, if they do that, there's no movie. So that's not gonna happen.
Yeah, but that's look. We can also, there's always going to be a bit of formula about those sort of films. I mean, you can't sort of say that. You can say that really of any film.
Yeah. Like
halfway through, if someone looks like they're going to die and they're leaving. Except in 15 Minutes with Robert De Niro, that shocked the hell out of me. Like I had that moment. I was like, okay, if you haven't seen that film,
fast forward.
Don't watch this bit. But like, I literally went, is he going to die? Eddie Burns isn't a leading man.
That's a bit rough.
Shocked. I actually slow clapped after they killed him. I was like, good call, because I did not see it coming.
That's the saving grace of that film, actually.
Yeah.
But let's getting off track.
Okay,
so let's get back on to Outbreak.
Let's nail it up.
Yeah, you nail it up.
Okay. Yeah, it is one of my old favourites. That being said, though, I don't think it's like a masterpiece. I'm going to give it a 7, and I know you're not.
I'm not. As much as I love Dusty and the rest of the crew, 5 out of 10.
Ooh, ouch.
Where are we going, Colonel? What are we doing now?
Get me on the guard channel. I want to talk to the pilot now.
Go.
To the aircraft approaching Cedar Creek. This is Colonel Sam Daniels. I'm a doctor with you, Sam Ridden. Do you read me?
We read you, over.
Okay. You must not bomb this town. I repeat,
son of a bitch, that little son of a bitch. Sandman, this is Viper Command. You're being spoofed by comm chatter. Charlie Mike, over.
Viper Command, Sandman. Authenticate Hotel Alpha, over.
Sandman, this is Viper Command. I authenticate Juliet, over.
Unfortunately, your commanders do not have the current data. We do. We have an anti-serum. As we speak, it's being administered. Every infected person in Cedar Creek within a matter of hours will have their dosage, so you must abort the mission. This is urgent. Answer me. Do you read me? You cannot bomb this town. You must abort. I am talking to the pilots and the bomber. Do you read me? Do you read me?